So, um, last night I went out with Abdul and Ziad. Great time. We had dinner. We went to Moxie's in Scarborough Town Center.
Okay.
Lit time. Nice, good conversation, everything. So we decided me and Ziad decided to ball out and get steaks.
Okay.
Like it was just steak and frits, but like we were noticing that pricing was kind of
It's up,
way
man.
up.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
noticed that too.
it
Like
was
prices are up.
yeah, it was like $28 before me tipping or taxes or anything. And I was just like, what the heck? And I was just like, and everything on the menu was kind of high, but I was just like, whatever, it was still good. So then I was like, let's go get Dairy Queen. And I brought my pills though. So I brought my pills. So I was smart in thinking ahead. So I got like the brownie Oreo thing. brownie brownie Oreo thing, like Sunday thing, and Ziad got it too. And I took my pills, but I think I took them early again, like I did during 1917, and that's a whole other story. I can't remember if I told on the podcast, but I took them a little bit early, and we drove to where we were gonna eat the ice cream because we wanted a view. So we were beside. I'm bad with location stuff, but we're not still at Scarborough Town Center, but like the kind of recreational area beside it. We were just sitting down and eating the stuff we got from Dairy Queen, and then time passes, and we move somewhere else. And we're talking, and then it hits me, and I'm just like, "Oh God!" And we're starting with bowel movements early this episode, so I start farting, bro, and I backed up because I was just like, "I don't want you guys to have to suffer this," so I backed up a bit, and I start like choking on my own fart because it was so bad.
Oh God.
Like, but then there's a point where I was just like, okay, because I was like, I don't want to cut it short, but also if I didn't cut it short, it would be bad for everybody. So I go, okay, let's start moving. Because we like Abdul drove us to where we were. So he just had to drive me back to my car. And my body's like, it's like you need to be on a toilet like right this second. And I'm in Scarborough and my home's in Ajax, bro. So I'm sitting there like this in his car because I'm ready to.
Oh
I'm like this.
God.
And then I have to drive still. So like as I'm driving, there was multiple points where like I'm gonna have a story where I shit my pants. Like I was gonna shit my pants. Like I was really about to shit my. Like it was like my body was like, "We're going. You're sitting down. We're going." I'm like, "No, no, no. Just hold it. Just hold it. We're almost there." And I keep driving, and I was just like, I don't even know how I'm like I got home fine because I was just like I was focusing on not pooping, driving, and still trying to. I'm sorry about this, Isaiah Rashad. Your album's dope, but I was listening to his album too, and I wanted to probably listen to the album because it was the first time I heard the album. So I'm doing like multiple things, and I'm driving home, and fucking because we have our driveway. It's like one spot for the garage and then the driveway. So I left my dad's car in the driveway and I put mine in visitors, but sometimes they ticket if you're in visitors. But I was just like, I'm leaving my car in visitors. They're gonna, if I get a ticket, I get a ticket. I'm not gonna try to park or rearrange the cars right now. So I run inside, I ride inside my house, I shoot upstairs to my washroom, and I made it. So I did poop my pants. But my body goes, hey, bud, that wasn't enough. You didn't make it.
No.
And I threw up. And then my body was like, hold up, wait a minute. Y'all thought we was finished? And it does it again. And I was like,
No.
and then it does it one more time, Ricky. And then I threw up 3 times. I was just like, why? I made it whole. Like, what was the point? My body was like, that wasn't enough. My body said, fuck you to me. That's what it did.
Man.
It literally said, fuck you. And I was just like, ugh! And then I felt like better.
Wow.
So clearly, in my old age, I guess my lactose intolerance is getting worse, or something. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I think
Ice cream's always been the worst one, though. Ice cream's always been the worst one for me.
But you decided I'm gonna have
I had my
ice cream.
pills, Ricky. I was ready.
I guess
took
it
my
doesn't
pills. I took
matter.
them too
Now
early.
you know. I guess it doesn't matter. Just ice cream is never an option, I guess, for you now. Damn, that's messed up.
No, I think you know what it was too. It was because I barely ate all day, and like my dad was mentioning this, and I think that's what happened. Is that because I barely ate, because you know your stomach starts to close, right? Like it's
Yeah.
numb.
Oh,
If
yeah.
I go to eat a bunch of stuff, like later, because I was just like, I didn't scarf it down, but I ate faster than everybody else because I was hungry.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I guess if I ate all that and then ate the thing that literally is my weakness at the same time, I think it was just a combination of things, and my body was just
Yeah.
like, "You do," because I was literally fighting not pooping for 20 minutes getting home. I had to drive from Scarborough to Ajax, so it was just like my body was like, because that's when I put everybody in danger but saved them at the same time. That was the same problem because I wasn't going to the washroom, so my body's like, "Hey, bro, what the fuck? We gotta release." I was just like, "You're not gonna
Oh,
listen to us there. We're gonna release," and I was just like, "Oh, okay." So I think it's literally that same thing. It was low key
well,
the great part 3, but I
good
was
thing
home. I was
is
in the confines of my home.
good thing is you didn't puke in the car, either
That's what I'm
car.
saying.
So that I mean, crisis
That's what I was
averted.
worried about. Yeah, I was worried about doing that on the highway and then just dying. I was just like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Because there's no because what I did it the last time, I was just on regular roads and I was turning still, so I was moving the car. But on the highway, when I'm like speeding to try to get home so I don't poop my pants, it's a whole different thing. And you know what the other thing is? I was just like, I'm noticing this now. I was just like, hey, that's content.
Ah, that's a good
Like
story,
after
but
it was all done, I was
man,
like, yeah, this
was
is
it worth
content.
it? Yeah.
No,
Man, the
would
cleanup
I do it again?
afterwards would have been something
Oh, the
else.
cleanup was not fun. The cleanup was
Yeah,
not fun.
I can
It
imagine.
was
It's
it was
just
it was not fun. It was
yeah.
not fun because what I was worried about, because you know how the smell of vomit can make you vomit.
Yeah.
I was worried about that happening again, but I think my body was like, no, no,
I
we
think
got it out. We
you
got
you had nothing left at that point. You puked 3 times. You
yeah.
took a there's nothing left. You're gonna be vomiting your soul at that point, man.
I emptied myself completely. Oh, oh. How was
Wow.
your week?
Not as eventful, I would say. Damn.
I was always worried about like having slow weeks during the pandemic, but clearly I seem to find a way. I find a way to do
Yeah.
something stupid.
Your body has a mind of its own and it wants
Yes, it
to
does.
release, it's gonna release, man.
It's betraying me. I thought I was like, because I actually went to the gym on Friday after work. I kind of liked it. And like you were saying, it wasn't as busy. Like it was kind of dead. So I'm just like, oh, maybe that's the. So that'll be my third day. I was gonna go earlier today, but I was still kind of feeling kind of amped. But now I'm like, I'm feeling better. So I'm probably gonna go after this. But
Okay.
like, yeah, I'm like, I'm taking care of you again. Maybe the food stuff not yet. I gotta get on the diet part, but like, don't do that to me, you bitch. You don't do that to me. We're trying to get back. I want to get back to where I was, bro. I was so D's. I was so D's, Ricky, before the pandemic started. Oh my god, I'm so cheesed.
Well, as long as you keep going, and maybe eat at regular times so your stomach isn't closing and shrinking,
I don't even. It wasn't even that late. Well, we got there at 8:30. We had to wait. Oh, maybe it was because it was later then. Because I don't think we ate until like maybe after 9:30 ish. Maybe yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe lay off the dairy, knowing that that is
But it
something
tastes
that,
so good.
yeah, that's, if I was
It's
lactose
literally the
intolerant,
worst
that'd be pretty
vegan.
sad, man. It's like I love everything dairy, and it's just so sad. Sorry to,
I
sorry.
do too.
Yeah, I don't know how you
Yeah.
how you live, man. It's just
Oh
I
well,
can.
geez, yes, I should just go. Oh well, love you, bye guys. I don't know how I did it either. Bye.
No, I mean like it's just. I mean, wait. When did you find out you were lactose intolerant? Weren't you pretty young?
Oh, that's a funny story. I was actually telling it last night. No, that's the other funny thing about last night. I was telling a lot of my stories with my dairy problems, and then I had one. It's like I brought it, like I brought the
Oh,
energy
you
to myself to
manifested
have that.
it into
Yeah, I
reality.
manifested it. So manifestation works, guys. But I yeah, we were younger, and I think it's where I got taken to the doctor because they noticed my stomach was hurting from stuff, and I
Oh,
think
okay.
it was literally the day. It was something like that, and literally the day the doctor probably said stay away from dairy stuff. And for whatever reason, I think my mom just did grocery shopping and I saw honey. I was like, I'm gonna make a honey sandwich. And I don't know. I've never had honey before at that point. So I was just like, let me try honey for the first time. I'm gonna have a honey sandwich. So that's what I did. I was a child. I don't know. And I had a sandwich, and then I had to go to the washroom, and I woke up on the couch. I fainted on the toilet and woke up on the couch.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I had to be moved. Yeah, so that's how it was confirmed I was lactose intolerant. I fainted
Wow.
the first time. Or I don't know if that was the first time. Because I used to love milk like crazy as a child. I used
Really?
to drink milk like crazy.
Wow. Damn.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe
But
lay off
everybody
ice
is
cream,
to a
I guess. Yeah, I mean, but I think ice cream might have been a push for
No,
you.
ice cream
If
probably was a
yeah,
push.
you probably
I
would have been
also
like,
too.
you were pretty brave if you were, if you knew that ice cream is like a trigger and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Especially if you're in someone else's car and you also have to drive an additional.
It wasn't that far of a drive though. Like it wasn't crazy. But
Yeah, but there's a transfer and then you're in someone
yeah.
else's car, so then you're even more conscious about it. You're like, okay, I can't, if it's gonna come out, it's gonna come out in my car, not in someone else's. That's even worse because you're like,
I don't know how our friendship would be after if I had it fucking Abdul's car. No, I would have. I think I was trying the hard. Like I really didn't want to shit my pants. I was like, there was. I think that was my will. Like at that point, if I was a Green Lantern, like I would have been the strongest Green Lantern at that point because my willpower was like, don't you dare, don't you? I do not want to shit. I'm like, knock on wood. I never want to do that. I never want to have be like, hey, I shat my pants one time.
I mean, it's great content, like you said.
No, it is, but no. I'd rather talk about how I made it home and threw up 3 times in a row. I think there was something else I want to talk about, but that kind of took over it. But I can't remember. There was something else. Oh, we're theoretically fully vaccinated now, right? It's been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks for both.
Oh yeah, for both of us. Yeah.
Are you ready for the 3rd shot?
But yeah, that's in a year though, right? So
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, it's a year after your second one, so you got time. See if it affects us.
Because that Delta variant, man. Because like, you see the Rolling Loud clips of how many people are there? Rolling Loud, the festival, the music festival.
No, I don't keep it. I've been watching the Olympics, but there's no one else there but the athletes and I guess some trainers and other athletes. But yeah, I don't really keep up with those events, I guess. But I think I've seen some videos or some pictures of like massive crowds, and I just never knew what that was.
Yeah, but like they're crowded. Like well to touch on the Olympics, I haven't really been like I only look at the TV like in between sets at the gym, and then like maybe seeing an update on like social media.
You can stream straight from the CBC website. Like you can pick the sport and like whatever you want to watch. So yeah, my friends and I every night we finish playing our games and then we just have like a watch party. So we'll pick a sport and we'll just watch it together on Discord and just talk about it. So yeah, it's nice that you can do that. It's just kind of tough being in Canada and is a 12-hour difference. So everything starts at night and then like it goes on during the night. So then we can't really watch it. So but they do have replays. So you can watch a lot of the events again if you wanted to watch it, which is good. But obviously you want to catch it live because you know who wins after you just watching the action. Yeah. I think last Olympics they didn't have something as good. And I don't know. I wasn't really following it, and then I think this Olympics I thought it would be the same structure where they're not streaming it anywhere. So I didn't even bother. But then my friends told me about it, so I was like, oh, okay, well then I'm gonna start watching it then.
Yeah, I think the live streaming stuff is gonna be more of a thing though. 'Cause
Yeah,
they're
but
just
like I
more
was surprised
eyes.
it was gonna be free. Because I think last time it was all paid. Like if you wanted to,
Free.
no, it's this is straight like purely
No
free.
ads?
If you have ad blocker, nothing. Yeah, you just go straight through.
Oh.
Yeah, you can just.
We don't use ad blocker advertisers. We don't use it at all.
Yeah, I disable my ads whenever I'm on YouTube all the time, and I watch a lot of it on my phone because they do have the CBC app, which you can
Yeah.
like basically do the same thing, but obviously there's no ad blocker, so you have to catch it every so often. But that being said,
Yes.
I think that's a little bit of ads here and there is better than having to pay for a freaking streaming service for one event. That's what I hate.
No, that's true. No, that's very true.
Yeah,
That's
I'd
very
rather
true.
be like, oh,
That is
okay,
very
yeah, I'll watch 2 ads so I can watch the entire thing for free. Like, whatever, man. It's not that bad. There's certain things I'm okay with ads for, especially if it's like everywhere else you're charging money for. It's like, no, I'm okay with a few ads. Movies, not so much. Sporting events, I'm barely paying attention half the time, so it doesn't even bother me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why I'm not like I always love like watching track stuff. Like
Oh, well,
the
track
100
just
meter,
started,
like,
so you can always start catching it now because track
seen-
started after everything else.
I've seen a few clips. Like I know like for women's, I think it was women's 100 meter, like Jamaica swept and it was like lit. Like they were 1, 2, and 3. They
The
placed 1, 2, and
men's
3.
just 100-meter just ended yesterday, I think, through yesterday.
And I think
Yeah.
it was
Andre
like the
DeGrasse
first
came,
Italian.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and then there's
that one.
the Italian one first. I think US was second. I honestly don't remember who took second, but Canada took third.
Oh
Which is-
wow, really?
Yeah, Andre DeGrasse. He's a Markham guy.
What?
Yeah. Are you serious?
No, I'm dead serious. I'm doing. That's how much I'm not
He
really.
was
I'm not.
he was
like,
really well known last Olympics. There's a famous picture.
Maybe
of
I
him
know, I'm just not
smiling with Usain Bolt. I think this was semifinals though. So he came second in semis, and he was smiling with Usain Bolt. And then he came third in the finals, and obviously I'm pretty sure Usain Bolt came first in that one. But yeah, this year obviously Usain Bolt's not competing.
Yeah.
And so, but he still came third this time, which is great because I don't know if you've been following the Olympic medals and who's been winning for Canada, but the men's have not won a single medal. I swear, it's all been women's.
Nothing for Canada.
Well, except for now 100 meters, but from what I like, all the news we've been hearing, it's been like straight women's events. That's all we've been winning. Like even medals,
Oh,
not
that's
even
lit,
like
though.
yeah, it's pretty cool. But man, the men's got to step it up.
Yeah, they got stuff. What are they doing, bro? Well, you're competing against like the most fit people in the world, right? You're the most fit people. They're the most fit people.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, so are the women, right? They're
true.
coming up with
well, that's
results.
what I'm saying. I'm saying everybody. Everybody's the most fit people ever.
Yeah, but the women are coming with results, so the men's gotta step it up.
No, they do. They do. Gotta get us some medals. Like we could go and compete. And it's like, yeah, just do it, guys. Just do it.
Yeah, no, okay. So we were watching the Olympics, and something that I read online was the Olympics would be a lot more interesting if they randomly selected people from every country to compete, just the average Joe. And so you get so my thing was like you get randomly selected so like this Olympics, you would be randomly selected for the next Olympics. So you get 4 years to train. And they tell you what sport you're doing. So it's like, Dante, we're recruiting you for shot put. So you get 4 years to train, and you just have to outdo the other countries' random average Joes.
Wait, hold on. Stop. Because I like this idea. It's like the Hunger Games, right? That's how. The Hunger Games
Yeah.
work,
A lot of
randomly
people
select the
are comparing it to that.
Wait, but in this scenario, I can't pick.
No, you don't get to choose what sport. They just say, okay, this sport, Dante, you're competing in archery or like gymnastics. You have 4 years to train.
Oh no, I'll lose gymnastics.
No, but like the thing is, you have to compete against you're not competing against like world class athletes. You're competing against
No,
other
but you're
average Joe.
assuming because if it's randomly selected, it could be a world.
That's true.
Class athlete.
That's true. But I mean, chances are it's not. Unless your country is like made up of like 1,000 people, and chances are you're not. You're competing against other average Joes.
Yeah.
Dante, you're doing 100-meter freestyle swimming.
I can't even swim. I would die.
You got 4 years to
They'd have to
train.
teach me how to swim first.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
yeah.
assuming I could just figure stuff out in 4 years. That'd be crazy.
Well, basically you're just dedicating the next 4 years to swimming. That's it.
No, I guess. See, but if I could pick, then I'd be like, hey, put me in Taekwondo. I did that before. Then I could probably.
Yeah, I
I'm not
mean,
saying
you'll
I
be
would
lucky
place.
if you get taekwondo, but
Yeah.
no, it's all randomized. Because then, what if someone's like, yeah, like you, oh, I've competed in taekwondo, so I'll just do that. It's like, oh, well
Not
then,
at the Olympic level.
yeah, but the
I've
thing
never
is,
competed at the
but
Olympic level.
you gotta keep in mind the other people being selected in other countries are also not Olympic level. They could be just
Again,
random
you're
people.
assuming that. You're assuming that. But if it's random, I could get like somebody that's like way better than me.
Yeah, so okay, they can take gold. You're competing for silver, but not every like that's one person, let's say.
I'm going for gold, baby. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and if
You
you
think I'm
get
gonna train
competed
for 4
against,
years to try to get silver?
if
I'm
you're
going for
competing,
gold.
okay. Well, also, what if there's no age limit? What if it's like some random 80-year-old man?
Sorry, bud. Sorry, bud. No, they better put an age limit and a range.
Yeah, they
Because I don't
probably
care,
should
bro.
because
I'm winning that gold. What are you talking about? They put me all against like old people? Sorry. I got the gold. Easy gold, bud. Easy money.
it'd be really funny
I'm
to see
joking.
what would happen though. Like,
No, if there was no age and it was random, that'd be hilarious.
yeah.
We should copyright. Can we copyright that? That could be a thing, right?
I think we could maybe do like a mini series where we just gather some friends and be like, okay, we're playing, but you don't even get it. You get like 20 minutes of practice, and then you gotta go and see who can win.
Freaking triple jump and all that stuff.
And just track. It's just who can. No, like racing. I feel like everyone kind of has a chance. I want to do something where it requires like unique technical skills, like archery, like what the fuck, or shot put, where you there's like a specific form and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like something where you can actually be bad at, but who knows? Because running is just running.
I want to ask this. Yeah, that's true. I want to ask you something before we get started. Well, we are started, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But what sport do you think you could, like, if you like got to train in? What sport do you think you could do? I'm not saying you would place or anything, but like, what sport do you think you could compete at in the Olympics? Like, what Olympic sport?
I think maybe javelin. I've always had a good throwing arm, so I think I could do javelin.
Javelin. I would say obviously taekwondo. I think I could do track if I just start running. I know I'm not fast right now. I don't know. I've never had. Like we were talking about that before. I haven't had to run in so long, so I don't know. I think what was the one that I surprisingly did good at in elementary school? The one where you jump over the pole. Is that vault?
Oh, high vault? High jump?
High jump.
I did surprisingly well at that too, but I don't think I could compete with like the Olympics.
I think if I'm training for it though, I'm not saying again. I don't think I would place.
No, I don't think I could. I don't have the hops for that. Like, even if I think I do, I can't. Like, I can't even dunk on a basketball net, so I don't think.
I definitely can't dunk. If you can't dunk, I definitely can't dunk. I gotta.
Oh, I'm sure you. That's not necessarily true. Just because I'm taller, it just means that I can't. I don't have the jump.
Well, no, I think my jump is high, but it's not that high to reach a net.
Yeah.
What? 5'7". 5'6.5". Well, this is a good place to start. This is another episode of On the Ledge with Dante and Ricky. I'm Dante.
And I'm Ricky.
And today we're not talking. We were talking about the Olympics, but today we're talking about travel. Kind of ties into the Olympics, right? Traveling and stuff.
Yeah. Because it's in Tokyo right now, and I don't know where it's going to be in 4 years. I don't really follow with that. I just follow with the sports. I don't know
either. Yeah.
Yeah, I just follow with the sports once it's happening. I don't really bother with it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We're talking about where we've traveled, where we want to travel to, travel stories, stuff like that. Like Tokyo is actually, like, just to talk about Tokyo for a little bit. That's actually someplace I wouldn't mind going.
Yeah, that's definitely on my next
Yeah.
It's definitely on my like bucket list. I think I would if once everything kind of opens back up, everything
Yeah.
is cleared out. Japan and Tokyo are definitely going to be like my next destination because
Mm.
we've been wanting to go for a while, and then
Yeah.
um, the pandemic happened. So I think we would have if so in 2019 I went to Australia, and
Hmm.
after that trip my girlfriend and I decided that Tokyo, Japan would be the next stop. But I knew the Olympics was going to be happening in 2020. Obviously, it didn't because it's happening now. Uh,
Yeah.
so we had decided that we would avoid 2020 because there's just going to be so much tourism. And then on top of that, we wanted to give the country some time to like recoup and just clean up after the Olympics because it's just going to be crazy. And then
Hmm.
obviously the pandemic hit. Now it's 2021. Olympics are happening now. Hopefully in 2022 it opens up, and I'm guessing maybe 20 end of 2022 or 2023 is when we're planning to go, but who knows what's going to happen. The world is very, very different from what we normally know. But yeah, Japan
Yeah.
is definitely up there.
Yeah.
What other
Just
countries would you like to go?
I would like, well, not the, well, countries in the continent of Africa, because I've always wanted to go back to, not back, well, I guess my ancestors were there, so, to the motherland. So, like, either like places like Ghana or any place like that. Now I'm forgetting countries in Africa in my head right now, but like, I would love to go, like, maybe like travel the different countries there. So maybe I'd have to like spend a month or something and just like go place to place to place. But I
Yeah.
would love to see it, and go there. That's on my list of places to go. But then I'm also a person that hasn't really traveled, right? So like the only places I've been to outside of Canada are the U.S. and Barbados, which I'll talk about Barbados a little bit later. But like, yeah, I'd love to go there. Tokyo. Trying to think. Oh, and I always wanted really really badly to go to Hawaii, but I think it's because of Hawaii 50. So you're always seeing it in the background and stuff. But I was like, I really 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 want to go to Hawaii, but I really don't feel like going to the U.S. anytime soon because
Well, Hawaii is
uh,
so far off from the US. It's like a
it
whole
is it
different
is theoretically.
culture and
Yeah, yeah,
from what we know as the US. But I think
yeah.
Hawaii is another place that it's really expensive, but it's
Mm,
a nice place to kind of go and vacation. Um not sure there's not sure all the things that you can do there. Um but it seems almost like a resort kind of place.
yeah,
And then back to like Africa. I think I've heard South Africa is like absolutely amazing. So I think
yeah,
it's
yeah.
one place I really want to go to myself. But for me, my main destinations kind of lie in Asia. I like, I guess, the Asian food and culture, so I want to experience
Hmm.
different ones. So Japan, Korea, uh, maybe Vietnam, because my parents are from there too. Philippines would be pretty nice too.
Wait.
Yeah, my
Wait, 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 wait. Hold on. What?
yeah, it's a very complicated story. I think so. They were born in Vietnam because their parents or grandparents moved there from China. Um, I guess to maybe avoid the war because
Mm,
World War II would have might have like pushed them to go to Vietnam, and then I think they moved back to China after the Vietnam War. Uh, and then they moved to Canada and Australia. Like some of them moved here, some of them moved to Australia. But they were born in Vietnam, I think, is what they tell me. But then again, sometimes some of their stories are kind of false. I don't know.
it's what they tell me. Oh yeah, maybe they were there, maybe not. I don't know. I was just like,
I
what? I
honestly
don't think
don't
I
know.
ever. I don't think I ever knew that about you. Like, well, about your parents, that they were born in Vietnam. So then you've never been to
No,
Vietnam.
no, no. They've been recently. Well, when I say recently, like 5 years ago. But yeah, I've never
Yeah.
been. They talk about China more. than they do
Yeah.
Vietnam. So we've been back together to China a few years
Yeah.
ago too. But Vietnam is, I wouldn't mind going there. But yeah, their story is very weird because they always tell me like they tell me all their like stories and with the war and stuff. But when it comes to like where they were born and even like when they were born, I'm so confused because they say one thing, but then documentation says another. So I was like, what? And then I don't really know, man. It's like they were born in a time where all these like tracking and like all these records just aren't there. Especially during like a war, like when things are destroyed.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
hard to know, and I'm sure they know, but they're just telling me stuff, and I don't know what to believe anymore. I just believe what they say is at this point, like, well, okay, you're born that.
So when it's their birthdays, you're like, I don't know. You're I
No,
assume.
so the dates are a little bit weird because, and I don't know if it's just so that when they immigrated here, they just made their birthdays the same, so that it's just easier. Because my
Wait,
grandpa, my dad,
wait.
and my aunt have the same birthday, and I was like, wait, that's just incredible coincidence, or did they
Or
just
they
do
picked their
that?
birthday.
Yeah, um, yeah, maybe like I don't know, because maybe they weren't tracking it, or I don't know. Um,
Well, no, I guess that no, that definitely makes sense, right? Because especially for wars going on, there's more things that you're concerned about, right?
yeah.
Than the document. Like, hey, we gotta make sure we're staying alive. We're trying to move out or whatever, or like whichever everything. Maybe we won't worry about what. Yeah, you know what? Our birthday's whatever. We don't even can't even celebrate it right now. It's whatever. It's just whatever it is, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, and then yeah, I don't know. There's just a bunch of stuff they tell me. And then as I got older, when you're a kid, you're like, oh, you believe everything. And then when I got older, I started to like realize things. I'm like, that doesn't make sense if you're telling me this, but then you're like this.
Mhm.
And it's like, well, they're like, yeah, whatever. I was like, "Yeah, I'll brush it, whatever. It's fine. It is what it is now, man."
I don't know if my parents are gonna get mad at me if I say this. I don't think they're. I think they're fine. But I remember there's this. This is kind of off the ledge, but there was this show, One on One, with Kyla Pratt and Finesse. What's his last name? Is it Finesse Mitchell? Is it Finesse? I can't remember his last name. But it was like a father daughter combo, right? It was called One on One basically because they're one on one and like I can't remember what happened with the mom because the mom was on the show too. But that's besides the point. There's one episode where the daughter figures out. She goes, "Oh, you guys had a shotgun wedding. Like I was born the same year that you guys got married." And then I started like when I saw that episode, I went, because I go, wait, this is before my parents separated. I was like, wait, I was born in September. You guys got married in May the same year. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, whoa, that's why you tied that. No, I don't think literally my grandfather had a shotgun to my dad. I don't think that was the situation. I was like, it
Wow.
reminded me of that because it's just like with dates and stuff. I was just like, oh yeah. I was like,
Yeah, it's like when you get
oh
older, you do the math and you're like, something
yeah.
doesn't add
You
up.
start figuring stuff out.
Something doesn't
Yeah.
add up.
I'm thinking, yeah, I'm just like, wait a minute, hold on, because I don't think I ever that never crossed my mind because I never thought about it. Just like, oh, their anniversary is the same thing as my age. Wait, why is their anniversary go up the same? I never thought about it, and then when that episode happened, I was just like, oh, brain blast.
Okay.
A
Yeah.
side story, but places that we've been to. I'll start Barbados. I went to Barbados when I was 16. So it was me, my dad, and my brother, and that was my first time. My brother's first time too, on a plane, and um, that was like I remember like being really nervous about being on the plane for the first time because I'm afraid of heights. Like I really, 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 really don't like heights, um, and like so I was really nervous about it, and I think I was okay once we were in the air and everything because it just feels like you're kind of on the ground, but you're not. Like it doesn't feel like weird,
Yeah.
because it's like I can't remember if it's like an 8 hour or I think it was an 8 hour flight. And I think on the flight back, that's when I watched Lincoln Lawyer when Matthew McConaughey decided to like act in like more serious movies. I just always tie that to when he shifted, his career shifted toward like serious acting instead of doing like the rom-com stuff. But yeah, like in Barbados, like beautiful. It's not bigger, like for people who don't know, but like it's like smaller than Toronto and like an island and everything. And it's like it's literally right beside St. Vincent's where my mom's side's from. But yeah, we were there for like about 2 weeks. It was my first time in a submarine as well too. The water there is
Wait,
like
what? A
so clear.
submarine? You went on a
Yeah, we went in a
submarine?
submarine.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
they have like this submarine thing, and so we went in like this submarine. And you got to see like all the like fish and stuff and turtles that were under there. I'm trying to like because I'm like having like flashbacks as I start to think about it as well too because like I don't remember everything. But not it was 10. Oh my god, I'm old. That was a decade ago.
You're old.
I
I'm
was
older than you, man. What are you talking about? You're
Yeah, but I
old.
was 16 a decade ago. Oh my god, I'm having an what? An ex. Say the word for me, Ricky.
No, I'm not
Ex.
gonna say it because then if I
No, say
mess up
the
the
word. Don't
word,
leave me hanging. I gotta figure it
but
out.
you
What's the
know
word?
it's 11 years ago, right? Because you're turning 27 this year. You know how I know
I'm
that?
still
Because
26. I'm still 26 right now.
was it
So I'm right.
was it no, I know, but was it when you were oh, I guess that makes sense. When you were 16 in the summer. Oh yeah, it would have been exactly
Yeah,
about
yeah,
10
yeah.
years.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
right. I'm right. I'm
Yeah.
right. Yeah, 10 years ago. Yeah, 2011. It was 2011. So yeah, I'm right.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah, but I'm having an existential crisis. Yo, my brain was fighting me, bro. I couldn't figure that out. I was like, existential crisis. Beyond that, so we were in a submarine, and the water there also is like, because you know how like we have the doo doo water if we go to the beach by Pickering. Sorry, Pickering, the Pickering beach, but like the water is not clear
Yeah.
there, like the blue water, it's so clear. Like when you're stepping in, you could like see your feet and everything under it and everything too.
Yeah.
One of the things that tripped me out the most though is because I did take in, right? Like if a white kid was born there, they would have like a Bayesian accent. So I remember we were at the beach one time and I hear this white kid talking and they have a Bayesian accent. I was just like, that's coming out of his mouth. I was like, what it tripped me out so hard because I was just like, whoa, but I was just like, oh yeah, he would have been born here. He's so young. So then that's his accident and everything. But also like in Barbados, because it was like beautiful place, lovely time, beautiful beaches and everything. Also where Rihanna's from. Shout out to Rihanna. But I saw prostitutes for the first time. And because we went to like this event thing and I think it was just like where we were, because I guess we were in a downtown area where it got nighttime. So then we were driving back, and I saw like ladies on the street, and I was just like, I wonder what they're doing. And then it was just like, oh, that's what they're doing. And I've never seen them like in person. Like I've never been around like downtown Toronto to like see them because I assume there's
I
prostitutes.
don't I don't think they're out on the
You don't
streets in
think there's
Toronto.
prostitutes in
No,
Toronto?
I know there are, but I don't think they're out on the streets like that. Not in Toronto. Like I think there's
Oh,
a
you
more
you think it's
sophisticated
more like
system. There's a way more sophisticated system for that.
like escorting?
Yeah,
So
it's
like
you call up a number and they just direct you to where you want to go and that's it. I don't
isn't
think
it like
it's
I did not think we would start talking about escorting. Well, maybe because I brought up prostituting, but like no, isn't it like they always do it like in the movies and shows where like a woman's at the bar and she's like, "Why don't you buy me a drink?" And then when you do that, that's kind of like the hint. And then if she's like, "Let's go upstairs," like she's kind of moving to that kind of quickly. That's how you kind of know, and that's like a
I don't
escort or
know,
whatever. You
man.
know, stuff like
I
that.
don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll
I
go
don't know.
downtown and figure it out. You know, try
Yeah.
to like, hey, is that how it works? But no, yeah, Barbados was really fun, and I want to go back now as an adult, and also want to go to Saint Vincent as well too. But
Okay.
like, yeah, all the places in the West Indies because it's just so beautiful, and the beaches are so beautiful. People are so nice and warm, and it's just like because we have a place that my grandfather owns. Like I guess it's in our family, so that's where we stayed. We weren't even at a resort or
Oh,
everything. So then
cool.
you got to like meet the neighbors because my dad was there till he was 3. So oh we also got like to like meet a cousin and like my dad's sister as well too, and it was just like that I never actually met until like I saw her there. It's like one of the sisters that I've never met, and then a cousin I've never met as well too. But yeah, beautiful place, and I would love to go again. And then like to other places like Saint Vincent and like Jamaica or Trinidad or all those places because it's all beautiful. Saint Lucia and
Okay.
Anguilla and all that place. Yeah.
Wait, so you said the other place you've been to is the US.
Yeah,
What part of the US have you been to?
I've been to Indianapolis, the place that yeah, hold on, let me go. The place where I really loved Parks and Rec, and then we decided to go to Indianapolis. No, that's not what it was. Parks. Hold on, another off the ledge thing. I will argue that Parks and Rec is more consistent than The Office. Have you watched both?
Mhm. I think Parks and Rec is actually a pretty good show.
I think no, it's great too. I just rewatched it on the end of was it the end of last year? We watched and I forgot how emotional that show gets me too. But it's really fun. I just didn't I don't like the last season, but like from 1 to 6, it's like pretty consistent and pretty like funny. Because like with The Office, I think 1 to 4 is just like great, and then 5 is still good, but it's kind of eh.
Yeah.
6 is not good, and then 7's okay again. But I think 6 was during the writer's strike, so that's why 6 wasn't as good. Because like even in 6, there was like a flashback episode. I'm like, why are they doing a flashback episode on The Office? But I guess all shows kind of do that just to like throw one episode away,
Yeah.
like to do a flashback. But like Parks and Rec, I find stayed
Consistently
consistent.
funny. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was a good show. I think I fully watched it all a few years ago, but then I tried to rewatch it last year while I was
Mhm.
working, and I kind of just jumped between shows. No, I think that show's pretty good. And it's like
Yeah.
nice to watch. Though the first season was kind of hard to get through. But then once you start to learn about all the characters and all the relationships,
Yeah.
it gets really good. I think just the first season was kind of annoying with like Andy in the he was kind of like a douche because he had like he faked
Oh
his
well, yeah,
injury.
yeah, yeah,
The first season was
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
complete, and then Rashida Jones was like kind of annoying, but then they made her really cool afterwards, like
Yeah,
where
yeah,
she was like
yeah.
really
And
friendly with Amy. Yeah, forget their names, man. Like in the show,
so
I didn't.
it's gonna come to me in a sec. Oh, why am I blanking too? Because you're thinking the actress's name is like
Yeah,
Nicole. Oh, that's gonna bother
Miss
me.
Nope,
Oh my
Leslie,
Leslie,
Leslie.
no.
There
Leslie,
it is.
no.
Yeah.
Ah, jeez, that was bothering me. I was like, Leslie, but no, and that beautiful tropical fish. Oh my gosh, I love Rashida Jones. She's so
She's a spokesperson for Expedia now. I don't know if you've seen her
I
commercials.
saw the commercials.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, wait, that's Rashida Jones. I was like, damn.
Yo, that's Rashida Jones, man. What's she doing? What's she up to? No, seriously, what you doing, Rashida? Hit my line. I don't know if she'll do it. I doubt she'll do it. Does she watch this? Rashida Jones,
Oh,
do you
let me
watch
just
this?
check my analytics. Let me just DM her and see, man.
Yo, that was a terrible me shooting my shot at Rashida Jones, man. No disrespect if she's like in a relationship.
Don't
or
worry,
anything. No
I'll cut
disrespect
this
to her.
part out and send her
Yeah, let's
a
do
DM
it.
with the
I'm
video.
down.
Just you
I'm
though.
down.
I'm gonna cut
Rashida
myself
Jones,
out.
I
I'm gonna
love
just
you,
blur
bro.
my face out. Make sure you're the
Yes!
focal point.
Do it. Turn off your camera right now. Rashida, I'm joking. What were we talking? How did we get here?
Oh, you were in Indianapolis, Pawnee.
Right. Yes, I was in Pawnee. I went to Pawnee. I really loved it. I think actually we went before I even watched Parks and Rec. Maybe I think, but it was for my cousin's wedding. So because I have cousins that live in the U.S. So yeah, she got married. So we went down for the wedding, and like that was the first time, and I was just like, people in Indianapolis were so nice. I was just like, they're so nice. It was like kind of like southern hospitality type stuff. So like where they're all like really polite and everything there. But yeah, no, it was. I just remember a good time. We weren't there too long. I don't think, if I'm remembering correctly, it was maybe like a weekend. So yeah,
Oh
we
wow,
weren't.
okay.
Yeah, We weren't there too long, and we actually drove. Like, so with me and some of my cousins and aunts and uncle, so we drove down there just for the weekend, and yeah, it was during high school because I remember there was like I think it was grade 11 because there was some test that I missed and I had to study for to take it a different day because I was going away. And I don't think I did good on that test. But yeah, it was. I don't know if that was like vectors when we were doing. It was something like it was something
Advanced
function.
functions. Yeah.
Might be, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. But yeah, no, I just remember good. But like, I wasn't. I guess I wasn't there enough to like really experience Indianapolis or experience the U.S. But like again, I don't think I would travel down there anytime soon.
Wait,
But like,
that's all you've been to in the US? Like haven't you been
yeah,
to
that's
like
it.
Buffalo right across the
Nope,
border from the States?
nope,
Okay, what
nope.
about within Canada then? I know you've been to Quebec.
Yeah, Montreal. And that's it,
Oh,
bro. I
that's
don't
it.
travel.
That's it.
That's all. That's all, guys. Ricky's like, I'm done with you. What are you talking about? He's like, I'm gonna have all the stories. I'm like, yeah, yeah, you are, bro. It's not me. It's all you. No,
Okay,
I
well,
haven't. I just don't. We just haven't. I just haven't. I want to do it more now that I'm an adult. If you give me
what
a
did you
bunch of
do
money,
in
I'll
Quebec?
travel. Huh?
What'd you do in Quebec?
So I've been to Montreal multiple times. So it's just been Montreal. Like it hasn't been in other
Oh,
places in
okay.
Quebec. So like I have an aunt that lives in Montreal, and then she comes down here, like for a few months in the year, or whichever. But the first time we went is because my cousin was playing football, and he had like a game there, or a set of games, or a turn. I can't remember what it was. So we went down to basically watch the games and stuff. So we stayed
Oh,
down there for a little bit, and then the next time is when I went with friends. Wait, or no. Either the next time was with friends, and then the third time was a wedding, or the second time was the wedding, and the third time was with friends. I can't remember what the order was, but yeah, I've been there 3 times. But that's it. Like I haven't been to any other. You sound like you've traveled to every single province in Canada, bro.
no, I haven't, but I've been I think Quebec is probably the only other place in Canada that I've been.
Yeah.
So I've gone there for like tours. Um, went there when we were really young because I had a cousin that lived
Hmm.
there.
Hmm.
Um, but more recently we went. So for university, we had the reading week during February, and I think it's very
Yeah.
common that like the students or the schools organize a trip to Quebec for skiing, and then another night in Montreal for just the nightlife. So
Yeah.
we went on that. Like my friends and I in university, we went to that I think 3 times out of the 4. So we just missed 1 year. But so we would go. The normal schedule would be you go on a tour bus, you go to a ski resort, kind of unload, have like a hotel, go skiing, then you you spend another night there, I think, and then we get on the bus
Hmm.
to go to Montreal, and then you kind of do your nightlife. Um, but I think there's one story that I really wanted to kind of outline was this night, the skiing portion. So for first
Okay.
year, I went on this trip, and I had never skied or snowboarded in my life. I also
Hmm.
probably have like the worst balance um, of everyone I know. Uh, so I decided, screw it. I'm going to go skiing. I'm going to go try at least, right? And so we rented our skis. We got all our stuff. And so do you know the levels of the ski slopes? I'm so it's like, Black Diamond is like
No, I know
one of
there's
the
different
higher
levels. I
ones.
don't know what they're called. Yeah.
Yeah. So Black Diamond is obviously like one of the higher ones. You
Yeah.
got the bunny slope, which is, you know,
Yeah.
pretty pretty leveled with the ground. But
Yeah.
so we went to my expectation was I'm gonna go and get on the bunny hill and see how it goes, right? Like how I feel, right? Um, and then maybe I'll go up one level. But the we didn't do that. We went straight to one of the slopes, and I think if you've never gone, have you gone skiing before or snowboarding?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
Not snowboarding, skiing. Yeah.
okay, so where have you gone? Like in Ontario?
Yeah, when for the grade 6 trip in like for TDSB, it's like Kearney. So we went there and we got lucky because we got 5 days instead of like normal 3.
Yeah,
So we went, but it wasn't like a dedicated like slope for it. It was just like on a hill, so like
yeah.
downhill
You
skiing.
just go
But
straight down,
I
right?
quite enjoy. Yeah, I quite because I think we were doing cross country first, and then we went to a hill and started going
Oh,
like down.
okay,
And I quite enjoyed skiing. But I haven't done it since. And that was grade 6, so I was like what 12, 11, 12.
okay.
So
So I was 19, 18, 19 when I did this. Okay, so 6 years. So Mont Tremblant is not just a hill going down. It's
yeah.
this winding motherfucking route, and you gotta learn to navigate the entire thing, right? And I'm like, okay, how bad can it be, right? I've watched
Mhm.
South Park. I know French fries and pizza. I can do this. Um, so I think we were on like the Green Hill.
Mhm.
And it's like I said, it's not. I know in like Blue Mountain, it's just like a straight. You go straight down. You go up the
Yeah,
lift.
yeah.
You go straight down. I didn't know because I've never been to a ski resort before. So this one went. You go down. You turn. You make another loop. You do another loop. There's a hill. There's a fence there. If you fall, you die. You keep going. Yeah. So I was like, okay. I've watched South Park, so I can do this. So I started going down. Man, I just fell so many times that at that point I was at a certain point I just gave up. I was like, you got to get down, but how do you get down when you're already this high up? It took me
Wait, you gave up halfway through the hill or
no,
the slope?
at that point I was so demoralized. I'm like, I just have to do whatever I have to do to get down because
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. It's becoming like excruciatingly painful. My mental it's done, you know. So I'm just going
Mhm.
straight down. If I need to stop, I'm just falling. My skis are flying everywhere. I'll go retrieve them, put them back on, go down another chunk. If I need to turn, I just need to stop, get like reposition myself and go down again. It's it was it was an awful experience. I can't even say anything. Okay.
I thought you were gonna have like a turnaround. I was like, oh, but then I got back up and I tried one more time and I learned and then I got courage again and I enjoyed the rest of the time. But no,
Okay, I
just
wish,
like
I goddamn wish, because man, it was just literally I would go down straight. I'm like, oh, I gotta turn, so I'd fall, and then I would get
uh
up, turn my whole body, go down again. If I need to turn, fall. If I'm going too fast, fall, so I can slow myself down. At the end, there was I remember this like I was going down so fast. I'm like I could see the end, the light at the end of the tunnel, right? A kid comes up, is right in front of me. I'm like a 200-pound man going like max velocity here, right? I'm like, oh
oh
shit, goodbye, kid.
no. Wait, you were just gonna off the kid? Wait.
Okay, I'm going so fast, and he's just sliding right in front of me. He has more control than I do at this point. I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna die. I stopped right and fell right in front of him, which made things harder because at the end it's not a steep anymore, so you don't have as much speed, right? You need the speed to kind of finish off.
Mhm.
So the rest was just so slow. I was like trying to like waddle my way out. But yeah, I was like, oh dude, kid, you're so lucky. I saved your life, man.
I saved your life, bro. I fell down so you didn't die. And I didn't catch a murder charge. Yo, that'd be nuts. I'd be like, hey, try to contact Ricky to like hang out back then. Hey, what, Ricky? Why can't we hang out? Oh, I'm in jail. I killed a kid on a ski slope. What the?
So it took me 4 hours to get down that one hill. And
That was the bunny one?
no, that was green. So it was like one level up.
Green.
It's
Okay.
literally like the starter level. Took me 4 hours to get down. I had friends who went on like double black diamond, finished it like 4 times, went on black. They went down like, I would say like 20 times before I could get down once. I gave up. I was done after that. I was like, well, I'm gonna return this bullshit. I'm done with this crap. Miraculously, I didn't injure myself at all. Like nothing was broken, which was one of probably my biggest concern because I'm falling so many times. My body can contort in any way. So yeah, that was yeah, that
What
was
does that mean? Your body can contort.
like if
to
I
any
fall and like the skis kind of take a weird angle, my legs, like I didn't injure myself, like my ankle didn't.
I'm stupid. I thought you were like, that's a skill of mine. My body could contort it anyway. I was like, what the fuck?
No,
What
I
are you
mean like
doing?
I didn't injure myself because like dude, I'm falling and anything could happen. Like my ankle could go a way that I didn't want it to go, and that's it, right?
Well, yeah.
But yeah,
That
I
is true. That
snowboard
works,
now. Like I find that's a little bit easier, which most people say skiing is easier, but I like
yeah, I would
snowboarding.
assume skiing's easier because you have the sticks and stuff.
I don't
And
know.
separate
I
leg
think
control.
maybe because my legs are just, I think I need to have them together rather than separate because then I'm thinking about two things at once and I can't do that. Whereas if it's just one thing, like everything is there. I don't know. I can snowboard better than I can ski. Well, I've never been on skis again. But yeah, that's my 4 hour skiing trip, which was so I've been there two more times. I opted out of the skiing and snowboarding. I never got
seriously?
yeah, I just went there for like it's kind of like a village, right? You get to explore a little bit, and then
Yeah.
I'm there mainly to hang out with my friends, but I'm not there to ski or snowboard because I'm not gonna have a good time. Why would I pay to not have a good time? What kind of bullshit is that? It's like
Now we gotta go skiing and snowboarding.
I'm down. Now I'm okay
I'm down.
as long as it's just snowboarding, but like you can do whatever the hell you want, but I'm gonna snowboard.
I'm down.
I have my
I've
own
never
stuff,
tried
right?
snowboarding.
Oh,
I've never tried it. Yeah, I wouldn't mind trying that. That'd be kind of fun. And I just imagine myself like, because the thing that's popping in my head when you're talking about skiing is that there was an episode of Always Sunny where they like did it was like this 80s movie parody where they went to a ski slope. So it had like all the generic things, but it's just making me laugh of like you being upset. Well, not that I'm happy that you were upset, but it's funny that you didn't make it down the. Hey, whoa, hey,
I made
hey,
it
calm
down. I made it down. Okay. I was okay.
In 4 hours, though.
Yeah. The thing is, I think the slope closed at like 5, and I'm like, bro, what do I do if I don't make it down in time? Like,
well, I assume they
let you finish, but like, damn, they're gonna be, everyone's good. It's gonna be so empty. It's gonna get dark, and I'm like, damn, what if I don't make it? This is gonna be.
Wait, you think they just leave you? They wouldn't have like somebody come and like be like,
well, no, I had like a few friends, which I felt really bad for because they knew how to ski, but they were trying to help me out, and I was just not getting it. Like it was one of those experiences. I feel so bad for them, but so thankful and grateful because they literally stayed with me the entire time. But I know,
okay.
yeah, and they were like, "You just do this," and I was like, "I'm trying." I guess at a certain point, my mental was just so bad. Like I'm trying to just zone everyone out and try to like figure this out. But yeah, in hindsight, I probably should have just listened to them and just when
I thought you were there by like I thought that it was like your friends were kind of like looping you.
No, I had a few friends who just did that, but then there were some that just kind of stayed and helped me out. And then whenever whenever they, lap me, they would stop and say hi and then be on their way.
Hey, bye, bro.
You doing okay there? All right, peace. Yeah.
Oh, still here? Bye. Oh yeah, but I would love to go skiing, even though like I hate the cold weather that comes with snow. I like
It's
I
not
kinda
bad
want
when
snow
you're doing
without the cold.
activity. when you're doing
That's
like
true. That's true.
snowboarding or skiing, because your body's heating up so much, it's not so bad.
Mhm.
And you're also dressed for
Yeah.
it, right? Like you're prepped for it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
have all the gear and shit, so not so
yeah.
bad.
That is true. That is true. I
Uh,
just remember that with that Kearney trip too, because we played like I just remember having so much fun. We played Manhunt, but like you pretended either you were like a hunter or you were an animal, and you had like depending on what animal you were you had like a certain amount of like these coin thingies or chip thingies that you had like on your like you would tie around your wrist. So every time you got caught, you would lose one. So then if you lost everything, you were dead. I can't remember what happened if you fully died, but that was just like because you were in the trees and there was a bunch of snow and you were just like hiding, trying to pretend not to. Because I don't think I was a hunter. I think I was like a deer or something. So I was like not trying not to get killed. And then you would like try to go to other animals and try to work with people. It was so
oh,
that
true.
was that was a good time. That was
Oh,
lit.
dude, your story reminded me of. So as a kid, you would go on a field trip with like your elementary class and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
There was one field trip where it was in the winter, and I think we were learning about animals,
Mhm.
and just kind of like wildlife. So there was one of activity which I really liked. Um, they like hid these like pipe cleaners in the snow all around this kind of wooded area, but it's
Mhm.
covered in snow. And so our job was to go and walk around and look for these, right? And it was snowing that day, so it was kind of blizzard, like a small blizzard, nothing like crazy.
Yeah.
So they just let kids wander around by themselves, like in like pairs, right? On like a team, with no adult supervision in the snow. I mean, it was a questionable activity, but we all made it out there alive. But like you're just looking for these like little colored pipe cleaners in this white environment. But I think we strayed a little bit too far off course, because we at a certain point we looked down and we could see like two eyes and we could hear
Mhm.
growling, and we were like, we're 7-year olds, kids just walking around, and we're like, what is that? And you could just hear the growling, and we stopped and we're like, okay, I think we're too far, so we went back. And in
Mhm.
hindsight, I think they said it might have been a coyote or like a fox, and it was trying to warn us like stay away. So good thing we didn't keep going, because that would have been terrifying, man.
That would have been terrible. 7-year-olds killed by a coyote on a
Yeah.
school trip. What the? That would have been messed up. Oh, jeez. Yeah,
Yeah.
like yeah. I think I told my story when running with a coyote. I don't want another one. Since I don't leave Canada, there's this other trip that we actually ended up winning for like a raffle ticket in like elementary school because we had this raffle thing, and it was like to this place called Deerhurst. I gotta go back somehow. I don't even know if it still exists or whatever. Like I don't even remember where it was because this is like still elementary school, and I had to be because it was still in Scarborough, so I had to be before I was like 13, 12, whatever. So maybe it was 10. Maybe that's how old I was. But it was like this like resort place, and it was really nice and kind of like in the woodsy type area. And I remember we were on like this, that boat where you kind of pedal?
The paddle
Like if
boats?
there's
No.
is it a pedal boat?
Paddle boats? I don't know if that's what it's called, to be
Is it
honest.
pedal? It might be a paddle boat, and you might be right.
Paddle boats? Oh, maybe it's a paddle. I don't know. But
What are you doing on paddle boat?
I don't know. Wait, I think I'm thinking of a paddle board, which is, let me look it up now.
Paddle board's something different.
Yeah.
It's like you're in like a boat, and it was like there was two seats, and you pedal like you're pedaling like
I think it's a pedal board.
uh I think it's literally a pedal boat probably. But me and my dad were in one, and we were like, because there was a bunch of water like that they had, right? Like I guess it was like kind of cottagey area, and we were out in the water, and there was an area of the water where it got dark, and both of us were just like, nope. We started paddling so fast. It was like a whale's gonna breach and we're gonna die. I was just like, nope, nope, nope. And we started turning around. We're just like, no, no. I remember that because I think we were like far out too. But then also too, I don't know if I should still have love for her because I remember hearing something about her being like MAGA or whatever. But they had like these Shania Twain impersonators at the place, so there was like this one concert. So they just were doing Shania Twain's hits, and I was just like, Shania Twain's got bangers, bro. And like I think they also sang because I always thought that "Soak Up the Sun," you know, like I'm gonna soak up the sun. I'm gonna tell, don't flag us. Gonna tell everyone to lie. Don't make me keep singing.
I
Recognize the song,
don't know.
Ricky.
I don't
Like,
recognize it.
you don't recognize this song?
Oh wait, yeah. I think I don't know the lyrics. Okay, yeah.
Soak up the sun.
Okay,
I'm
I
gonna
just didn't know
tell
the lyrics
everyone
was that.
to lie. Now I'm singing. but that's I think that's Sheryl Crow actually, because they sang that song too. But they were just like going through hits, and I was just like, this was kind of lit, bro. I didn't know I like Shania Twain's music like that, but it was lit. I just remember that vividly from that story. I remember the paddleboarding story. I remember the Shania Twain impersonator because Shania Twain wasn't there. It was just people. But you know what? Another off the ledge. I'll just keep going off the ledge this episode. You know, there's like people that just impersonate other artists and like go on tour for it, and they're getting a bag.
Yeah.
Like but it's just like, but especially when the person's like alive too. It's just like, but how does that work? Because then there's like a whole copyright law stuff. How does that work? I guess because you're saying you're an impersonator.
Yeah, it's probably, I don't know, man. I don't know how that would work, but maybe because they know you're a fake and you're not claiming to be the real.
Because like I feel like there's like stuff like that in Vegas, right? Like there's a bunch of like
There's
what's his face?
Elvis.
The guy who stole a bunch of music from black people. Let's not get into that topic though. But like Elvis, there's a bunch of impersonators of him. But I guess he's dead, so that's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But like, especially when people, because like Shania Twain's not dead, so they were just doing her. They were great, by the way. But I'm just like, how does that work? But I guess it's like maybe like another artist just doing a cover of a song.
Yeah.
Right? I guess it works like that. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
Never thought about that. I don't think I see a lot of impersonators either, though.
Well, that was my first experience with that. But I guess they weren't like impersonating, they were just doing her songs.
So
right?
maybe they just cover a
cover
artist or band, but they really give you the full experience rather than just the music. They give you visuals and everything too.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I don't remember anything else from that trip though.
Man,
my brain's going, man. A bunch of stuff. I know the thing is too. It's like after the podcast is done, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember it now. I remember we did this and this and this and this. But I think, yeah, because I'm trying to think. Barbados is where I've been. United States, Montreal, Deerhurst. Travel places.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
was going to ask you this. Oh no, sorry. Go on. Go.
Yeah, no. So I've been to like China, Australia, some parts of the US. I think like New York, Buffalo. Apparently I've been to Boston when I was young. I've been
Why you say apparently? You don't remember it?
I don't remember it because we went on a bus with my mom and my sister. My dad stayed back to visit, I guess, some relatives. And there's photos of it, but I don't. It's like my parents, because they don't know English. They might have just told me a place, but it might not have been that place. So I don't know at this point. If I don't remember it, then I don't know if it's for reals. But yeah, I've been to Haiti, Jamaica, and Mexico on a cruise. That was actually really fun. Yeah, you were about to say something before I interrupted you.
No. I was interrupting you. No, I don't. I'll say it after this because I want to respond to something you just said. I don't think I could do a cruise. One, because I can't swim. I just It sounds like
you don't have to swim though. You don't have to swim. You don't even feel it. No. I didn't feel it, and you gotta think about it like you can't think about the worst case scenario, man.
my brain just does that. But like, I don't like the idea of being trapped out at sea.
Yeah,
You're not
that's
trapped, but that's what I feel like it is. It's just like,
though you're
no,
not far from everyone, and the boat is so big. Like you don't. The boat is so big compared to other like boats that it's like if you get into an accident, you're gonna have to make sure that the other person's okay. It's like driving a 18 wheeler and getting into an accident with a sedan. You make sure the other guy is okay. You're fine. You know.
yeah. I don't know. It's just like that seems crazy. Because it's just like, hey, what if I'm like, hey, I'm kind of done with this trip. Can't do nothing about it. On this
No,
boat,
but the
bro.
thing is, there's so many things you can do because there was a basketball court, a volleyball court, ping pong tables. Obviously, there was pools on the boat. There's an
Yeah.
arcade, a rock climbing wall, and then there's just like unlimited food, right? So like if you're hungry, you can go. There's also a gym on board which you could just go and do, like with weights and everything. Um, I didn't, and then there's like events. There's even a theater. We watched Cats musical like 4 times. They perform every single freaking day, and we just watched every day.
Wait, you didn't get enough of Cats, the first one?
No, so
You're like,
we watched
you're
one
like,
part. We were like, okay, we're done. We're getting tired. We're gonna leave. Came the second day. We're like, oh, we'll catch the second part. We'll try to time it so we can catch that next part. Then we're like, oh, forget it. We're gonna come back and watch another. And yeah, and there's like a lot of like events and activities, right? Like they had um like a water diving show, and also you stop at the three places I mentioned: Haiti, Jamaica, and Mexico.
yeah.
They made stops there, so you can actually get out and explore the
But they
surrounding
tell you
areas.
like we're only here for like
Yeah,
summer and you ever, yeah, and then you have to leave, right? So
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
like a day you're there, right? Or
No,
it's more
it's
like
like about, I think it's like 8 hours, so you can even just go on
ah,
back on the boat if you want to, because I know a lot of people like to do events at every stop, so we didn't do events um in Haiti or Jamaica, but we did like
mhm.
a excursion in Mexico, which we just swam with the stingrays, which was pretty cool. um but I think my most memorable thing about the entire trip was probably in Haiti. I get out of the 3 stops was Haiti, where we,
Mhm.
so Haiti, they had an island that was owned by the cruise company. So a lot of it's just like cruise destination, like everyone goes there, right?
Oh
Um,
wow.
but the one thing I remember was we were playing in the water, and like you said with Barbados, the water is just so clear. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
unbelievable. Um, but because of the temperature and everything, we all of my friends and I, we all fell asleep in the water. We were just floating and we fell asleep for like 20 minutes, and we were like, oh shit. We were like floating and we were just sleeping, and then I think we woke up and we were like, oh shit, we all fell asleep. So we went back and just took another nap on like the benches. But yeah, it was like pure relaxation. I've never experienced that in my life, where this was right after university graduation. um we had no exams left. We didn't have to work. We didn't have anything to pay for, right? So we literally just relaxed. We had nothing in our minds, and it was like the
Mm.
most calm that I've ever experienced. So yeah, that was the most memorable thing about that. But I don't know. I think if we go on a cruise, it'd be fun. We also didn't even have alcohol because we didn't want to pay for alcohol. It's expensive. So like I had a lot of fun surprisingly without it, because there's a casino too. There's a fuck ton of stuff that honestly, there's a game room, there's a bunch of shit that like I
That's
didn't
see,
expect.
like you're saying all that stuff. I'm just like, that's so much on that damn boat, bro. Like all the
No, but it's
weight, all
massive.
the.
No, it like when you think it's massive. There's a new
Uh,
one with a water slide and everything, which is really cool too. Um,
oh,
but yeah, it's, I think if we said let's go on a cruise, I think you'd come, because it's actually so much
well, I
fun.
wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no.
Yeah, but it also depends because none of us experienced what's it called,
Seasickness.
seasickness. Yeah, so
Yeah.
got lucky with that. But I think if you have the right medication, you shouldn't. I don't know how you are with water
I
and
don't.
everything.
I don't think I do because, like, again, like Deerhurst, I was fine on that paddle boat thing. At least from what I remember. On Barbados, we went on a. It wasn't. I guess you called it a cruise, but it wasn't like a cruise ship. It was a smaller boat, but like it had 2 floors, so like not a
Oh,
like tiny
like a
boat, but
ferry,
like
right?
enough for people. Ferry. There we go. That's the word. Ferry. Like we went on a ferry boat ride, and I was fine on that. So it's just like I. I think I'm okay. I was fine in the submarine.
No, the submarine definitely. If you didn't feel fine in that, then you wouldn't be good on a cruise boat because it's like I
Yeah, I
said,
think I'm
it's
okay.
massive and you don't really feel it at times.
So is it like the plane where I won't feel like I'm in the air, really,
No,
unless I
no,
look
that
outside?
depends because that depends. I have another story where right with the cruise on our return back, so from Fort Lauderdale to Toronto, it was
Mm.
the flight of my life, okay? Because, and I think my friends and we all felt the same way because on our way back, we felt the most turbulence we've ever felt in our life. Um, and this bitch was shaking, all right? I think at a certain point,
Ooh.
we looked at each other and was like, this might be it,
This is
y'all.
it?
This might be it, y'all. You're like, and then the landing, oh my God. You generally when you land, you want it to be like more smooth, not so much bumps and everything. This one we were like jumping, man. There's like hydraulics on.
You're making me not want to go on a plane again, bro. F that,
It
bro.
was
That's crazy.
because it was like such a short distance and it was between like I guess Florida and Toronto.
Yeah.
It's a smaller plane. It was also a smaller airline. So that might have been it because
Ooh.
I know with bigger airlines and bigger planes, you barely feel like the poor landing. Because
Yeah.
the,
Yeah.
the reason we knew it was bad landing was because the pilot said sorry for the poor landing, um, the turbulence and everything. I've never been so scared in my life because
I
holy.
I probably start going nuts. So like, oh, this is it.
No, I
This is
think
it.
we didn't react like we didn't like show our emotions, but we looked at each other and I think we all knew like, yo, what the fuck? This is it.
I don't know how it would be. I don't know if it'll be like either I go like really panicky or if I just like there's a calmness that comes over you. I don't know. I don't know. It's
Like
just
you've
like, yeah,
accepted it already.
this is
That's it.
yeah, this
Nothing
is
I
the
can
way
do.
I go. It's over, bro. There's one thing though on the list. I don't think you talked about it though. Like the under skiing 4 hours. I don't want to spoil it.
Oh
The
yeah. So the same
yes,
thing with
yeah.
the cruise. We stopped in Jamaica, which I think again
Mhm.
it's kind of like a sectioned off part of Jamaica for the cruise patrons. Um, so they drop you off and they check you for drugs in into Jamaica and out of Jamaica, um, which makes sense. But I don't think the other two destinations had as strict, I guess, protocols.
Yeah.
So we explored the touristy parts of Jamaica, which was like specifically designed for the cruise people. Like they stop there and you go explore this area. But we went a little bit beyond into more of like I guess I would call it like a village,
Yeah.
where you kind of have more of the locals. So we were just walking around. We didn't really know where we were going, and there we walked by this one guy, and he was offering my friends and I weed, and we said no,
The
because
marijuana.
yeah, yeah, he was offering
The
us,
Mary Jane.
yeah, and so he walked by all of us, and or we walked by him, and he kept offering, and we kept saying no, right? Then I was last, and I said no. He's like, oh, you want something different, and he was pointing to his hat. And we all were like, what? And I'm like, no, I'm okay. Because you can't get onto the boat with this stuff, right? So, like, what
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
mean? So, yeah, it was like, I think he was offering me cocaine because I was like, what? Yeah. And it was like, why me? Like, everyone else had just walked by and just singled me out. And I was like, what?
When he saw Ricky, that song called White Line started playing. He was like, bass. Why? lines. I was doing a terrible impression of that song. Moving through my eyes. It's a. Do you know the song? It's an older song.
No, but it sounds like you're doing an
Let's be singing again.
amazing cover. Yeah. I
You
don't
know
know
what
the
I
song,
was
so it's a
thinking
good cover.
actually?
What?
No, if I played that song for you, you would be like, "What was he doing?" But I was thinking when we actually get to do karaoke, if we did covers of songs, like a karaoke performance of a song. So like if we did like Leave the Door Open, for example. Oh, I want to talk to you about something about that after. But if we did Leave the Door Open, for example, so like if I did Anderson's part, you did Bruno's part, or vice versa, or whichever, and we did it like seriously, like we're not seriously, but as seriously as we could. Like that was a performance, a karaoke performance. We just did like a bunch of karaoke performances and recorded them. I think that'd be hilarious. Because I know I can't sing. I'm not gonna speak for you.
No, I
But
can't sing. I like to think I can, but definitely cannot.
I like to think I can too. But yeah, but did you hear their new song?
No, I saw it, but I didn't get a chance to actually listen to it yet.
I know I said this before, but I think I was saying it to me personally. I was like, album of the year. I'm saying it now for everybody, bro. It's album of the year, bro. It's called Skate. It's so good. It's a little bit more up tempo than Leave the Door Open. It's like a Jackson 5e type vibe. Like it's funky and it's just like really happy and everything
Yeah.
too. And it's just like they're just it's just that's my lane. Like I love that type of music. So it's just like I'm telling you, man, album of the year. I just want it. I just want the album. That's all I want. Listen to it. You're gonna love it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'll
It's
give
so
it a
good.
listen afterwards.
Silk Sonic, by the way, I don't think we said the name, but Silk Sonic, if you don't know, you know now, and you should go listen to them because they're dope. It's Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. What more do you need? Come on,
Yeah.
let's go. But yeah, is there any other travel stories you had? Because I'm gonna in the future I'll make more, and then we'll come back and I'll have so many travel stories when I travel and be more traveled. Is that the word?
I don't think I have any. Well, I have stories, but I think I can save them for another time. I did want to ask you something though.
Yes.
So I noticed that obviously everyone has a different travel itinerary, and kind of like what they want to do when they travel. So, for me, example, I like to plan what I want to eat. So I like to look at the food options and see what's good, and that's how I plan my travel, my whole itinerary. I plan where I want to go to eat, but I know some people like to do more, sightseeing, historical sightseeing, and some people like to do activities. So like I know when we went to Australia, my sister wanted to do, she went to like these ponds that you could only go during a certain time because of the tidal waves and whatnot, like how the sea level rises. If it's too high, you obviously can't go because you can't get back. So I wanted to see like what kind of travel do you like to do?
Well, because I haven't traveled in so like the only times I've traveled was as a kid, so I haven't really traveled seriously. Well, not to another country because
Well,
Montreal
no,
when I went with friends. That was
I don't think it has to be another country. I think even like when I travel in Canada, um I like to just look for the types of food that's available there and what's unique to that area. Because then, like, I know when I went to Montreal, the one thing I absolutely hated was going to like the churches because like they just look at it and then I hated that. Like I was like, well, why am I here? Like I want to do more. Like I don't want to go on these touristy things where you're just
yeah.
guided through and you get to look at the church. Yeah, it's nice, but for me, I prefer to go find something like, oh, the food here is good, or like I want to do an activity where it's like unique to that area.
I I think I would be like my itinerary would probably be like activity based, but also I wouldn't mind seeing sites though, like depending. But I don't think I really need to see sites in like Canada unless it was like if I go back to Montreal, I don't need to see sites because I've
Yeah.
seen stuff there, right? But like if it's somewhere else in like Canada that I haven't been to or like a different country, I would like to see sites. So I guess I would be activity because like me, I'm picky. So like as long as they have something I like at the food place, I'm good. Like it's something that I could eat on the food. So I don't think I would plan it around food, but I would plan it around like the activity stuff. But also, if I'm going somewhere hot, I wouldn't mind just spending like a day or maybe two just on a
Not doing
beach
anything, right?
and doing
Yeah.
nothing, bro. That's kind of want to just,
All right,
I
we
can
gotta go
just
on a
lie down.
cruise and go to Haiti, and you'll know what I'm talking about. Falling asleep in that water was like, oh my
I don't know if
god.
I could fall asleep in water because I
No, no,
can't swim, so I don't know if I want to do
you
it.
have like a floaty device, right? You have like one of those noodles, and you rest it around your head, and you literally just
Mm.
face up. It's like it's sunburn central, man, because you just don't even know what's happening.
Well, I don't know, man. I'm scared about like, 'cause I've
But
heard
or even
stories
just
about
being on
people
the
like,
beach and just falling asleep, man. That
that's what I'm
was
saying.
like holy.
That's what I'm saying, man. I could just do that, man. Oh, that'd be so nice. I'm thinking about just sitting. That's what I want to do. Travel places to nap. I
You
wouldn't mind
start an
that though. Like
Instagram like, yo, where's Dante napping today?
Dante naps. That'd be actually. I don't know. You never know. People might be into that.
Hey man, people are into the weirdest shit, okay?
Okay, I wasn't gonna talk about this, but it was in my head today, and now I have to. And we'll end after this. This is not to do anything with traveling. Have you seen that girl that pretends to be a dog?
No.
Okay,
That's a firm no.
there's this. Again, no kink shaming, but this one I don't
Oh
know,
wait,
bro.
hold on. I think I know what you're talking about. Because I think I've seen it a long time ago, or not too long ago, but like it's something that I just breezed by. And I'm guessing she's on like a leash, and yeah,
Yeah, and it's like I guess her boyfriend or whatever, like she treats her like a dog, and then that's her thing. So he'll literally play fetch with her, and she's going in. But she has like an OnlyFans too, and I think she was doing an interview on I like the clip came up in my like recommended or something on like No Jumper, and I was just like, hold on, stop,
oh, okay, okay. I mean, recommended is
pause.
based on an algorithm of
Hold
what
on,
you
hold
like
on.
to
Let
watch.
me
So
rephrase that.
okay.
Let me start again. Hold on. No, stop the podcast. Stop it. Pause. Maybe you have to edit out something here. I don't watch videos of people pretending to be dogs. I've watched a No Jumper interview before. So because I've watched No Jumper interviews, that interview popped up. That's why it was in my recommended.
No,
So I was
YouTube
like,
thought,
oh
oh,
wait, is it
you like seeing these human dogs, and you like this no
no,
jumper? Boom.
That's not what it was. So she was just talking about it, and I was just like, huh. She's like, I made 1 million, and I'm like, what? I was
Yeah,
like, what
don't you
is
know what's her name? The Cash Me Outside girl. She made like 1 million just opening
no,
her
I knew that
thing,
stuff, but
right?
that stuff was nasty. That stuff was not because it was predatory. She turned 18 and then makes $1 million. People were just sitting there waiting
Yeah,
for it. No, but like, no, like, but my thing is, it's such a specific thing, right? Like a
yeah,
person pretending, and she was saying it too. She's like, it's not like I'm dressing up as a dog. It's just me. I'm clearly a human. And I'm just acting like a dog, and people are just jerking it to her. Like, what the? But again,
yeah.
no kick shaming. But it's just that's just one. I
It's a
don't.
niche,
It's
man.
just
It's a
I don't.
niche market, and she's got a
That's what I'm
hold of
saying. But
it.
that's what she was saying, and she also goes like, "Yeah, there's these other girl pups, and they're really nice." And I'm like, "What did you just say to me? What did you just say? There's other girl pups. That's what you refer to yourselves as?" And I was just like, "That's so different, different." But again, I
Capitalize
know
on the
what I like
market.
is every time I think about like other people's stuff, I'm like, I remember there was a conversation. I'm not gonna repeat the conversation I had at a get together with Ty, but I just realized like my stuff that I clearly family members watching. I don't watch anything on the internet that's not appropriate and that's not so good at no sex for me on the internet. What porn? Huh? What is that? I don't know what it is, but my stuff is so vanilla. So vanilla. I don't like anything crazy. Like yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But that's been another episode of The Lunch with Dante and Ricky. I'm Dante.
And I'm Ricky.
Don't forget to like, scrub. Damn it. Smash that like button. And we'll remember it next time. Smash that like button, subscribe, share, comment. What is the question? I'm going to keep throwing it to you. What is the question of the week this week, Ricky?
Let us know what kind of traveler you are. Are you into looking for activities, sightseeing, or food? You know, what kind of traveler are you? And
Exactly. Yeah, that's a
yeah,
good question. Let us know.
yeah,
See you guys next week. Thanks for
yeah.
watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.
Bye.